Hi, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to create this weekly newsletter in Word. So the first thing we need to do is establish our margins. Now, although we can see our margins with our ruler, if you can't see them, go to View and just check Ruler here. I need them to be visible, but I don't want them to be moved or I accidentally nudge them whilst we are creating this newsletter. So I'm going to double click at the top of my document, and you can see now I've entered the headers and footers. So I'm going to put our margin line in headers and footers, and when I come out of it, it'll stay there, but I won't actually be able to move it. And I'll come back at the end and then delete it. So let's just go to Insert, go to Shapes and select Line, and then just click holding down your Shift key and drag out a line. Now what we're going to do with this line is we're just going to grab it and we're going to move it. Sometimes this is a real challenge, and we're going to move it to where it says 1. So just up here where it says 1, and then we're going to press Command or Control C, Command or Control V to duplicate that line, and then we're going to grab that line again, the other one, and we're going to take it over to where it says 17. And then we've got two equal margins. And then what we can do is we can align our text and also our graphics to these two lines, come back at the end and then just simply delete them. So let's double click out of that. And as you can see now, I can't grab the lines, I can't click on them, and they can't move, which is great. So they're just acting like a guide. So now let's go up and insert some graphics. So Insert, Shapes, and then I'm just going to use a rectangle and just simply click and drag out a rectangle. Now every time you insert a shape, there is a small outline and there is a fill colour. So we're going to do some customization to this. So select it, go to Shape Format, go over to Format Pane, and then on this icon here it says Fill and Line. Fill is your inside colour and line is your borderline. So for this we're just going to get rid of that borderline, so I'm going to select No Line, and then I'm going to go to Gradient Fill. Now because I've rehearsed this already, you can see on my gradient I've already got my colours in here. So this is just simply a slider, and each of these markers can be moved left or right, and as I move them you can see how it changes my fill colour. Now you can add as many of these as you like, or you can simply delete them. So the plus button is here. If I click that, you can see I've added one. You can see how you've selected it because it has an orange outline, and then just click on this delete button here, which is the minus sign, and you will get rid of that marker. To change the colour, just select it, go to colour, click on the drop down, and then you can see you've got a lot of colours here to choose from, or you can go down to more colours. And then here you can see we've got the colour wheel. You can move this little cursor around here, and you can move this lighten and darker slider as well. The colour you've selected will appear here, and then you just click OK. Once you've done that, you can customize your gradient, so you can click on linear, radial, rectangular or path. I've clicked linear, and also you can click on the different directions as well, and you can see there are a number of different options there. So the reason I've ended in the white here is just so that it blends with the rest of my document to the left. Once I'm happy with that, if you just click away, and along the whole process you just need to check things are lined up. So if I just zoom in, you can see this rectangle is not quite lined up with this line here, so I'm just going to move that over with my mouse. If we move that over, there you go, and we've clicked on the line. And also you just need to be happy that your margins here are relatively similar to the margins here. So let's just move that down a little bit. Perfect. Let's just zoom back out. And now we're just going to enter in some text. So go to Insert, Text Box, click on the drop down and select Draw Text Box. And then we're just going to click and drag out a text box. Now once again, all these text boxes come with a black border and a white background, so we're going to get rid of both of those. So select it, go to Shape Format, go to Shape Outline, click on the drop down and select No Outline. Then go to Shape Fill, click on the drop down and select No Fill. And then just double click in the top corner here and then just begin to type. And then if you click away from your text box and then just click back on, so the cursor is no longer inside, if you go to the Home tab, when you want to customize your text, you can just click on any of these. You don't have to select all of the text. So I'm going to change my text to this one here called DIN. I'm going to increase the size by using this icon here, increase font size. I'm just going to click on that until I'm happy. Now it does do a little bit of a big jump here. So if I click up, you see we go to 72. So let's try 55 and maybe we'll take that up to perhaps 60. There we go. Now what I want to do with these letters is I want to spread them out a bit. So the way in which I can do that is to select it all, right click and go down to font. Now in this dialog box we go to the advanced and we go down to character spacing. Where it says spacing, you can increase the spacing and you'll get a little preview down the bottom here. So if I just increase that spacing, as I just click upwards, you can see how those letters are becoming more and more spaced out. So I'm going to try 6. There we go. That's about right. And then again, I can just move those letters up. So we're roughly in the center of that graphics box behind, and then I'm going to move the letters over so they hit that guide over to the left. Just using my arrow keys. If you want little increments to move things, then on a Mac, if you hold down your Control key and your Command key and then use your arrow keys, then you'll just jump in smaller increments. Once we're happy with that, we can go ahead and insert some more text boxes and also some more graphics. So again, let's go to Insert, Shapes, Insert a box, and then we're just going to do a box here. We're going to take this one all the way over to the edge, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull this out a little bit, roughly about there, and this is where you can insert your issue number, your title, your company, etc. We're just going to change the color of this as well, so I'm going to select it, go over to my bucket icon, go to solid fill, and then I'm going to go down to this color here, and then I'm going to select a color I selected before. I'm just going to get rid of the line around the outside as well and select no line, and then I can either keep that attached to this box if I want to, or I can just move that away. Just move it with my arrow keys, entirely up to you. Now because I've already customized this text box, I've taken the borders out, taken the background out, changed the font, I'm just going to copy and paste this box. Now you can do that in the normal way, Command or Control C, Command or Control V, or if you select it, hold down your Alt key, you can see my cursor changes, then just click and drag and that will copy out a new text box or a copy of that text box. So now let's just place in an issue number, and then let's just click away, click on that. Let's go to the Home tab and reduce the size of that, because that's got to fit inside here. So let's just go down right there. Now if they look too spaced out, these letters, you can just simply go in, Command or Control A, right click again, go down to font, and let's change that just to 4. Let's see how that is. That's about right. And then again, click and drag out a new box by holding down that Alt key. Double click inside this box. Command or Control A to select it all. We'll put the date in. There we go. And then one more text box. Okay. So we just space these out. Now to line them all up, if you select them all by clicking on them, holding down the Command or Control key, just select them all. Then go to Shape Format, go to Align, and then Align to Top. Now that they're all lined up, you can go to Group and select Group, and now they'll move together. And that now just means that you can move them up or down, or left and right, to sit in the center of the square or the rectangle behind. So I'm just going to reduce. There we go. Perfect. So now we'll go to Insert, Shapes, and we'll just insert a rectangle again. Let's put one over the side here. And then again, we'll go over to the fill, and then we'll change the color again to the pink color and get rid of the line. Let's just move that down a little bit. There we go. And let's use some more text boxes. So again, click on this text box, move it down, and then let's enter title of next section. And then we'll just go back up to home, reduce the size of that title. And here we can actually change the color if we want to. There's the text color. We can change it to another text color if you want to. Again, when you're spacing all of these out and you're nudging them, just try and make sure they line up with the guides. And also you can see the top of these letters. It'd be great if they lined up with the top of this box here. So let's use our arrow keys again to just line those two up. Perfect. Now you can line these two up if you want to. So we could just move this box over and line those up there as well. Now I'm going to change the text of the writing in here. So I'm just going to do a new text box now. Click and drag out a text box. In fact, let's draw one because we can have two columns here. Again, go to Shape Outline and select No Outline, and again the Shape Fill as well. And then here you can place in the text of your choice. I'm just going to paste in some text. Now the great thing with these text boxes is that you can move them, nudge them, so you can fit your text in perfectly. You can just either reduce the size of it or increase the size of it. You can move the text box left and right. If you want to change the alignment of the text, select it, go to Home. You can use the Justify tab here, which will line it all up so it makes a perfect square. Or you can simply center align it or left align it, it's up to you. I'm just going to click and drag out this text box again here just to show you for demonstration purposes how you can put your text in. Now the difficulty is if this is written text that flows from this box to this box, when you continue to type in this box, it won't naturally flow to this box. So what you will have to do is type out your text and then split it between these two text boxes. Again, I'm just going to click and drag out this text here. But this time, I'm just going to reduce the amount of text. Then I'm going to center align it. I'm going to increase the size of it. I'm actually going to space out the lines a bit more. So go to line and paragraph spacing, and I'm going to choose 1.5. And I'm going to change the text color to white. There we go. And I'm going to make sure it's centered with this box behind it. So select the text box, hold down the Command or Control key and select the colored pink box behind. Go to Shape Format, go to Align, Align to Center, and then you can sometimes align to middle, but sometimes it doesn't look quite right. You can see there's a bigger gap at the bottom here. So you can just use your arrow keys just to move it down slightly. Perfect. The next thing is we're going to add an image. So I'm going to go to Insert, Picture, and for this demonstration, I'm going to use the stock images in Word, and I'm just going to search for flowers. I'm going to select this image here, click Insert. Once your image is inserted, don't click away from it, just keep it selected, go to Wrap Text, and then just go down to In Front of Text. And this will allow you to move it, and also it will come to the front of your document. So it's not behind all the text. Now I'm going to stretch it out like this so it stretches along the whole width of my page. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch this out so that it goes across the entire page. And then all I'm going to do is select it, go to picture format, and then go to crop. You can see that I have these little black markers, and all I need to do to create a slice of this image is just to pull and push these black markers just to select exactly what part of the image I want. And then just go back up and just hit crop. And you can see now I've just got a slice of that image. So it's quite key that you select an image, perhaps with a little bit of dead space here, that you can enter some text in, or that works when you just have a small slice of it. So then I'm just going to click on this text box. Sorry, I'm going to click on this text box and then hold down my Alt key, click and drag out a new one. Double click, select all, and I'm just going to change the words. I'm just going to change the color of these, so select it, go to shape format, over to shape format here. Now you can see we've got shape options and text options. Because I'm on text, make sure text options is selected. Go to this first icon here. See where it says solid fill. I'm going to go down to the color and select pink. And then just make sure I'm happy with where that lines up to the side here. We can of course move this text over so that it's not the text box that's lined up with the line, it's actually the text itself. There we go. I think it just needs to come over a touch. That's it. Just making sure that everything's lined up. There we go. Under here we can have another box, so I'm going to select this pink box and then I'm going to hold down my Alt key, click and drag. And then I'm going to do the same over here. I'm going to put that one round about there. So I'm going to try and make this gap here the same as this gap here. And then I'm going to drag this down to the bottom. And then this text box here, sorry, this rectangle, I'm just going to pop here. And then again, I'm going to try and line up this gap here with this gap here. Now I can ensure that my box is exactly the same width here. If I click on this, go to shape format, and over here you can see the width is 574. So if I just copy that, Command and Control C, go down to this box here. Oh, and it's only one out, so I can just delete that one, or select it all, Command and Control V to paste and press enter. And you can see now that those two will be exactly the same size. Let's just click away, make sure they're both on the line here. I think that needs to move over slightly. There we go. And again in here we can use this title text. Hold down my Alt key, click and drag out a new one. Let's just quickly change the text color. Go to home, click white, click on the drop down. There we go. And then we can just change the title. Pop that in there. Again, use your arrow keys to make sure it's exactly where you want it to be placed. And I'm going to use this text here. Hold down the Alt key, click and drag out that text box. So I want my text to come over to about here, down a little bit. Just so I can show how this text will look, I'm just going to copy and paste this text again. And then I'm just going to go up to home and then change the font color to white. Just click away and see how that looks. I'm going to nudge everything down a bit, so using my arrow keys, just nudge that down, nudge the title down. Again, click away and see how that looks. Now this box here I'm going to change the color, so select it, go to the bucket icon here. I'm just going to change that to green, and I'm going to do the same with this one, change it to green. You can have any color you like. This is just how I selected because the flower colors are pink and green. It just all ties in nicely. In fact, let's just go to the other green that I chose. There we go. Now in this section here I'm going to put in a logo, so let's go to Insert, Picture, Picture from File. And let's just go and search for the logo that I want. There we go, and click insert. Now you can see it's gone up here and it's behind all this text and graphics. So keep it selected. Again, go to wrap text and select in front of text. And then we can just move it down here. There we go. Now, of course, you don't need to put your company logo here. If you want to put it up here, of course, you can do that. Any of this you can change. It's completely up to you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some contact information here and maybe a little bit of text. So let's just select this text box here. I'm just going to move this text down a bit. I'm going to change the color again to white. And for this one, I'm going to change the alignment to left align. And I'm just going to delete some of that text so I can fit it in. There we go. And this is purely just to let you see how this may work. Again, if you click away and then you're not happy with the alignment, then you can just use your arrow keys to move it over until you're happy. And let's go ahead and put some contact information in here. I'm going to just enlarge the page. It just get a little bit small down here. So go to insert, and then we're going to go to stock images, and then we're going to go to icons, or you can just hit icons up here. And then I'm just going to type in phone and select this phone and click insert. Again, it's gone to the top here, so go to wrap text in front of text, and we can move that down. There we go, and we can make that quite small. I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to type globe, that's for the website, and just click one of these, doesn't matter. Again, same thing, wrap text in front of text, move it down. Let's just zoom out a bit so that we can do this a bit quicker. Reduce the size. Reduce the size in a minute a bit more. And then email. Select one of your choice. Again, wrap text in front of text. Drag it down and reduce the size. So let's just zoom in again. Let's just reduce the size a bit more. Okay, let's just grab some text, a text box again. I'm just going to select it all and type in a phone number, just randomly. Let's just move that down so you can see, oops. Command and Control Z to go back if you've selected the wrong thing. I'm just trying to reduce the size of this text box. Here we go. Too much. And then again, you can line this up with the telephone. Once you've lined these two up, it's a good idea to actually group them, then they'll move around as one complete icon, or sorry, item. So select the phone as well by holding down your Command or Control key. Go to shape format and go to group and select group, and then it's one complete item. But before we do that, let's just ungroup it a second because I just need to copy and paste this box. And then again for here. So let's go back and just group that, hold down the Command or Control key, group. And this one, double click inside, Command or Control A to select it all, and then a website. Once again, line that up with the globe, probably the same distance away as the phone. So the distance here between the phone and the numbers, between the globe and the words, probably about there. And then once you're happy it's in the middle as well, select them both, group, and then that one's a group as well. And then again, use that arrow key to line that up. Now you can see we haven't quite got that right because the alignment's not right, so just ungroup it, click away, click back onto the website, and then we can just move that so it lines up with that 0 above. Again, do the same with this one, double click inside, Command or Control A. Let's do email. There we go. And again, let's line up the email with that W, and then let's just move this icon. That's roughly in the middle there, roughly in the middle that way too. So let's group these two together as well. sorry, group. There we go. And then we can move all of these up so that they line up to the left here, or they can line up to the center. So these icons, I'm trying to line up to the center. And also I have in mind this alignment here, and also the alignment between each of these texts as well. So once you click away, we can zoom back out and see how that looks. So before we save this out, just make sure that everything's lined up along the side here, and all the text and alignment here. Just make sure you're happy with where everything sits in your images and also your text boxes. Sometimes if you zoom out by using the slider here, you can see sometimes if anything doesn't quite sit right or annoys your eye, and then you can change it. So once you're happy with that, what we need to do is go and get rid of these lines. So double click at the top of your document or your page, click on the lines, make sure the little green balls are highlighted, just press delete, do the same to the other side and press delete, then just double click back in the main part of your document and you can see those lines are gone. And then if you need to save it, go to File. You can either just save it as a Word document, you can save it as a template so you can come back and use it time and time again. It will be back in your Word software. Or you can click Save As and then you can name it whatever you like. But if you go down to File Format, click on the drop down, just simply save it as a PDF, and then you can go ahead and send that as an email or an email attachment, or you can send it off to be printed and then just click Export. So I hope that's helped you today. If it has, please subscribe and have a great day.